Oh yeah, she's that country girl who overcame the stigma that Southern women are barefoot, backwoods, and backwards. Now she's an articulate voice for conservative values and wisdom in America. Sitting on her front porch sharing common sense, here's Marnie.
Hi, welcome back to Front Porch Sense, where we talk about common sense principles in America. Today I want to talk to you about something that I think we are losing in the United States in particular, and that is the art of communication. And it's kind of ironic considering that we are probably the most communicative society with all the technology we have available, video conferencing, chat, and being able to, everybody's got a phone, we've got ways to communicate with each other in all these different ways, and yet we're not learning how to communicate effectively. Our first choice, if somebody says something to us and maybe they've irritated us, we go to a text, we go to a private message, and then that doesn't convey the emotion. You don't read the body language with that, and it just opens up for a lot of miscommunication. Recently, my husband had a misunderstanding with someone, and he called his father for advice, and his dad said, go over there, don't text, don't tweet, don't post on Facebook, don't do a phone call, go over and talk in person to this individual and work it out. And granted, when he did that, the person didn't immediately want to talk about it. They were mad, and then a little bit, the person came back to him and said, hey, let's talk this out. And they were able to talk out the situation. Now, I think if it had all been handled through text or, things like that, it wouldn't have been resolved. This thing would still be hanging out there. So I've noticed that a lot of people, they try to fix things using these, more cryptic ways of discussing things, and it doesn't work. And we need to get back to real communication. And another thing that I think is happening is that because we are seeing so much play out in our country from a political standpoint, all across the news, we're seeing these politicians argue, fight, polarize, and it's polarizing us as individuals as well, in that we see everything in very polarized ways. We're watching like a big reality show play out. That's basically what politics is nowadays, is this big reality show, which really isn't even reality. Like, I was reading an article the other day about a congressman who was friends with another congressman on the other side of the aisle, and how it came across in the public view that they must hate each other, but really they weren't. They were friends, and even though they were on two opposing sides. There's even more depth going on that we're not seeing there. But from the surface, it looks like everybody hates each other. If they have this view, they hate the people on the other view. So we're starting to see other people, whether they're on social media or whether they're our friends, our family, neighbors, whatever, in this way that they're out to get us in some way, that they've got some ulterior motive going on, that they intentionally did something that messed up our world. When in reality, most of us are going around doing the best we can, just trying to make the best decisions we can. Nobody sees all perspectives. I mean, as much as we want to. I pride myself on trying to see everybody's point of view, but I miss people's point of view sometimes. I don't see that, this person would perceive it this way, and this one would perceive it that way. And when you stop and you have to try to live your life guessing what every point of view is going to be so that you don't offend anyone while you take action in this way, A, it's impossible because you can't mind read everybody. B, you would never get anything done. You would be completely immobilized. So we have to give each other the benefit of the doubt. Where did giving each other the benefit of the doubt go? That's what we need to get back to. And we need to stop looking at this big production of politics that we're watching as if it's reality. These people are caricatures of reality. We're not seeing even all of their reality, much less our own. We're not looking around and seeing that most people are good people, trying to do the best they can. Yeah, sometimes their decisions bump up against ours, but the likelihood of them trying to offend us, trying to do something that hurts us in some way is remote. So if you think somebody has done something that's ticked you off or offended you in some way, form, or fashion, don't get on Facebook and blast it all over. Don't text them some mean thing. Go to them, if you can, face to face, or at least pick up the phone so that you can hear tonality and everything. If possible, video chat or something where you can see them and read the body language. Because we miss, like, there's so much of communication that is in body language and tonality, and we're missing all that when we go just only with text, email, or whatever like that. Go to the person, ask them for clarification, come to them with the perspective of, did you really mean to do this? I mean, this is the way it came across, but I'm thinking, surely, is that really what you meant to do? Or, why did you do this thing? Share with me your logic. Help me understand what you're saying here. And even when people say something, a lot of times they don't mean it the way that we're interpreting it. And you can stop and say, hey, what did you really mean here? What you said this. What did you mean by that? 99% of the time, when I am offended by something someone has said, and I stop to say, you said this, what did you mean by that? And they give me clarification, it's not what I interpret it to be. It's not the same. But I've spent, until recently, a lifetime assuming I was able to understand what that person said based on that little bit of what they said. And I have extrapolated huge meaning to small things when people didn't mean what I thought they meant by that. But I didn't stop to ask for clarification. And now I try to make a habit of asking, what did you mean by this? You said this, can you tell me more about that? And by the time they talk and explain, it's nothing to be offended for. And one of the things that my own husband has taught me very well since I've known him is not to mind read. Not to try to think that I know what that person thinks based on their actions or even based on some words, but to stop and ask for clarifications and have the hard conversations. It's not an easy thing to confront someone you know is mad at you. Okay, that is not an easy thing. To me, it makes me sick to my stomach. I want to crawl in a hole. If I know that person is mad at me and I've got to come to them and say, I'm sorry for this, can we work this out? That's the last thing on earth I want to do. I don't enjoy conflict at all. So to do it takes some stretching outside of your comfort zone. But if you don't do it, you're going to be outside your comfort zone way beyond that with this person. You're going to be avoiding them. You're going to be assuming the worst from them. You're creating a huge litany of consequences because you're too chicken to have the hard conversation. So that is something that I'm working on, that I've learned a lot from my husband to do, is just to have that conversation. A lot of times it's really not as hard as you think. Because when you talk face to face, people won't say half the garbage that they would say to you if you were tweeting or texting or Facebooking some big argument or whatever. Just have that personal face-to-face conversation and you're not going to have as much. Although some people nowadays are getting more combative even individually face-to-face. It's bleeding over, unfortunately. But I think the majority of us, if we will have those face-to-face conversations, we can start bringing down the vitriol thermostat in our country so that we can have more intelligent conversations where we really seek to understand and be understood. Those are my thoughts for the day. Y'all have a wonderful day and God bless.